Okay, cool. We are live and ready to go. First off, just wanted to apologize in advance with this recording. I am kind of sick. Had a little bit of a fever a couple of days ago, and recovering from that. But sore throat is definitely still there. Not as much of a headache anymore, which is good. But throat is definitely a little dry and a little bit sore. So hopefully I don't sound weird, and hopefully I can get through this without having to take too many drinks of water in between. But hope you guys are having a great day. It is obviously the week after Thanksgiving. So hope you guys are having a great week, and I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and a great just overall weekend, right? I know Thanksgiving is like one day, but obviously the weekend tends to be a weekend of holiday celebrations too. So hope you guys had a great weekend as well. Just a reminder, I am still offering the Black Friday deal until November 30th. If you are watching this live, inside of the free Facebook group. And if you aren't a part of it, make sure you go ahead and click the link in the description of this episode and join the Facebook group. But I am still offering that until November 30th. So if you want details on what the Black Friday offer looks like, make sure that you message me or fill out, if you found the link in any of my previous posts, fill out the link to my coaching application that I can get back to you. We'll schedule a Zoom call just to talk a little bit more about your goals, go over all the details of the program and all the details of the Black Friday offer, and see if it's a good fit, and then kind of go from there. So wanted to make this video, this Facebook Live, this recording, all about what to do over these next 3 to 4 weeks between basically now and Christmas and New Year. This is kind of the weird lull period where people are a little bit anxious. They don't really know what to do regarding their fitness goals or their weight loss goals because they have all these other temptations that are, still around over this time period, since the holidays kind of feels like they linger. Like it's not just Christmas and Thanksgiving. It feels like it's the whole 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then you add in New Year's, and that could even be 5 weeks of time that you aren't really sure what to do. And also coming off of Thanksgiving, if you did enjoy more food than usual, maybe even more alcohol than usual, more desserts than usual, you might be feeling more bloated, more full. The weight on the scale might be up today, Monday morning. You might be feeling sluggish. You might even be feeling some negative emotions as far as just guilty or angry with yourself for overeating and for some of the choices that maybe you made over the weekend or Thanksgiving. And you might not be looking forward to, these next 3 to 4 weeks because you feel like it's just going to add on top of that. And when we actually look at the research too, this time of year is typically the time of year where most people actually end up gaining the most weight. So if we look at statistics, the average person ends up gaining a certain amount of weight every single year. Usually it's around maybe 5-ish pounds in total. And most of the weight that they gain every single year, it's not that they're gaining a pound here on this month, a pound here in that month. Most of the weight that they gain is typically between Thanksgiving and New Year. And they gain 5 to 10 pounds. And then maybe they, lose a little bit of it, in the spring, in January, even the beginning of the year, maybe in the summer, but they end up overall over time gaining around 5 pounds per year, and most of that weight gain coming within these next 3 to 4 weeks. So if you can really dial in these next 3 to 4 weeks, then you can really eliminate a lot of this yearly weight gain that, as Americans, we see so often. So I wanted to go over some tips as far as how to manage these next 3 to 4 weeks, even up to 5 weeks even, to ensure that you don't go backwards and to ensure that you don't end up gaining this weight that maybe you've gained in the past or that so many other people gain. So number one thing is you have to realize is that you have a lot more control over your circumstances, over your choices than what you think. Even though it's the holidays, even though you're tempted with all these desserts, these cookies, all this comfort food, even though it is, depending on where you live, probably colder outside, harder to get walks in. Maybe if the weather isn't great, it's harder to drive to the gym. A lot of times we have more control over what we choose to do than what we think. And we end up being a victim to our circumstance, and to where, like, if something is inconvenient to us, if, maybe the roads are fine to drive on, but maybe we do have to shovel out our car a little bit. Like, we choose not to because it's a pain, right? I don't like doing it more than anybody else. Or if it's just cold and you don't want to go out in the cold and you'd rather, lay on the couch, get under a blanket, watch a nice movie, sit by the fireplace, whatever it is, you'd rather do that than go out in the cold and drive, 10 minutes to the gym to get your workout in. Or maybe it's, cooking more nutritious, healthy foods for whatever kind of meal plan or nutrition plan you're following, or if you're with a coach or whatever it is. It's easier to go to, let's just like order something in because, it's like I just want to like sit on the couch, kind of that same example, and get all cozy and be lazy, right, over these next 3 to 5 weeks, almost like extending that vacation. But a lot of times you have so much more control over your actions than what you think and what you give yourself credit for. And realizing that you do have so much control is so empowering, because then you realize, like, making progress over this time is actually still possible. So that's the first thing, is you have to realize that you have control, or else you're just going to continue to be a victim of your circumstances. And if you continue to be a victim, then you're never going to make the progress you want. And then the second thing to kind of realize or keep in mind is that there is a middle ground to everything when it comes to weight loss, fitness, nutrition. Like, okay, maybe you can't get in your full workout because it takes you maybe an extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes to drive to the gym because of the weather. But can you get in at least half of your workout or even a few exercises? That's better than swapping your workout or ditching your workout completely. Can you get in, maybe 6 to 7,000 steps per day instead of 10,000, right? That's better than just saying, screw it, I can't hit my 10,000 step goal, so I'm just going to lay on the couch all day and only hit 3 to 4,000. Like, there's that middle ground that's still really effective in most circumstances. Same thing with nutrition too. Like, maybe you can't hit your fat loss phase goal calories. And if you aren't really sure what I'm referring to, when I work with clients, we go through distinct phases, and a fat loss phase is one of those. But if you're in a fat loss phase during this time period and you can't hit your fat loss phase calories, can you at least hit your maintenance calories and do that without going way over your maintenance calories? Or maybe, can I at least maybe only go over my maintenance calories by a couple hundred instead of going over my maintenance calories by, 1,000, right? Like, one of those circumstances is really having that all or nothing approach, and it's going to really set you back. Where another one, maybe you don't make incredible progress over these next 3 to 4 weeks, but maybe you at least don't go backwards. And like I said, this is the time of year where most people end up gaining the most weight. So if we can at least just maintain our weight during this time period, that's a huge win. So realize that there's a middle ground to everything, and nothing regarding nutrition, fitness, weight loss, all of this, body composition, is all or nothing, and nothing should be all or nothing when it comes to this stuff. Tip number 3, or reminder number 3, is to remember that these foods, these cookies, cakes, pies, all of this comfort food, you can enjoy this food all times of the year. Like, this food should never be completely off limits. Pumpkin pie, you should be able to enjoy a piece of pumpkin pie on a random Wednesday in January, on a random Thursday in March. Like, it shouldn't matter that, okay, this is the time of year, the only time of year where I'm able to have pumpkin pie. So I'm going to have 4 slices in one day, really overdo it, because this is my one day where I'm going to enjoy it guilt-free. You should be able to enjoy it guilt-free through all days of the year. If you fit it in, your calorie goal, your protein goal, and all that stuff, like you should. And you can fit that in and still see progress. Even in fat loss phases, right? Now, obviously, there are some nutrition choices that make it harder to hit our goals. Like, if you have 10 pieces of pumpkin pie, or let's say if you have 1,000 calories worth of pumpkin pie, and your calorie goal in a fat loss phase is 1,600, and your protein goal is 120, and all those pieces of pumpkin pie, maybe they only give you 20 grams of protein total, but you've used up more than half your calories, right? That's going to be really hard to hit your total calorie and protein goal. And you probably still could with certain protein shakes and things, but you're probably not going to feel very full. You're probably going to be missing some really good micronutrients that are going to help with energy. So it's not the best choice, but it is possible. So just knowing in your head that you're able to make that trade-off of a choice at any time if you want, I find with clients really gives you that like freedom or that weight off your shoulder to where you feel like you don't need to just like completely binge on this stuff during these holidays or during the holiday season. Like, I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten from clients who have, gone into their Thanksgiving day and they're like, this is probably like the least amount of food I ate on Thanksgiving ever. And I didn't even try to restrict myself. Like, I was satisfied. I was happy. I enjoyed what I wanted to enjoy, but I didn't feel the need to overdo it because I realized, okay, if I don't have, if I just have pumpkin pie and not have apple pie today, I can include apple pie in my plan, 3 days later and still hit my goal. Or even clients when they go on vacation a lot, like, they go to these restaurants and things and they end up making healthier choices at the restaurant, not because like I'm telling them to and because they feel forced to, but because they're able to choose a burger at a restaurant all the other times they go out to restaurants when it's not even a vacation. So they don't have this like built-in restriction in their normal diet, or when they're trying to lose fat, they don't have this like automatic built-in restriction. And then it causes them to not feel like they have to like just snatch everything that they can out of it when it's, these holidays, when these foods are presented to them. So that's another huge thing to remember, is that these foods should not be completely off limits any day of the year. Obviously, we have to be practical about how much we're eating of them, practical and mindful of, what our total goals are for the day as far as like calories, protein, and all that stuff, if we're going to go over, under those things. But in general, like, you can find a way to fit a lot of these foods in any day of the year, and knowing that and really like truly experiencing that and practicing that makes these days just like, the food wise, like, it's still good and still amazing. The food tastes great. The memories are great, but you aren't so focused on like, let me just try to eat as much as I can, because if I eat any other day, I'm going to feel guilty, because that guilt just isn't there the rest of the year either. And then kind of the last, or tip number 4, is and maybe I'll give you some like tough love here actually, but it's to ditch the I'll start in January mentality. That mentality is absolutely killing your results, absolutely killing your body, your health, your overall mindset. It's killing your progress to actually achieving the body you want and actually achieving the mentality that you need to keep that body long term. Like, why would you, if you feel miserable right now with where you're at with your body, with your health, how you feel in your skin, how your clothes are fitting, if you hate the way you look, hate the way you feel, just like lack so much confidence in yourself because you're not following through with the things you say you're going to do, you're treating your body miserable, you're not showing up for yourself, you have a bad relationship with your body, a bad relationship with food, you don't feel confident in front of your husband, your spouse, or your partner, like with intimacy because you don't like the way you look, why would you decide to put your goals on the back burner until January and decide to feel miserable for another 4 weeks? Why would you choose to still hate the way you look for another 4 weeks? Why would you choose to still feel sluggish, to still feel out of shape, to still have low energy, to still feel insecure for another 4 weeks? Like, why are you choosing that by pushing your goals off, until January? Like, if you feel good with where you're at and you feel great and, you like your body, you love your body, you feel confident with your spouse, your significant other, your partner, your husband, you feel good taking pictures, like you like the way you look, you feel good with your health, you don't have any like immediate health issues, then I'm not talking to you. Like, that's totally fine. If like you just have, a few pounds you kind of want to lose, but you don't really need to lose it, and you feel good with where you're at, like, wait until January, like, whatever, that's fine. But, I talk with a lot of people about their goals, people in the DMs, Facebook messaging, Instagram messaging, people who fill out my one-on-one coaching application. We talk back and forth through text. We also get on calls to talk more about their goals to see if, signing up for coaching is right for them. And so many of you tell me how horrible you feel on a daily basis as far as your energy. You hate the way you look when look in the mirror when you wake up. You hate how insecure you are with your husband or your partner, with like intimacy and things like that. You hate the way your clothes are fitting. Like you're constantly pulling at your sides because, your shirt tugs on your love handles a little bit too much than what you like, or, you can never fit quite right in your favorite pair of pants that you used to love to wear, but now you don't. And like you tell me all these things, and you tell me like you can't keep up with your kids because you have low energy. You feel like you're setting a bad example for them because you aren't eating healthy, and you're out of shape yourself. Some of you are even like healthcare workers, nurses, and you're telling people to, take care of their bodies and be healthy, but you're not, and you feel like a hypocrite as well. Sometimes you even have like physical jobs where you have to like help support people, pick people up, or move around a lot, and you're just feeling so dead and tired by the end of the day that you have no energy for anything else. And you tell me all these things as far as all these negative things about your life or negative things about yourself that you hate and you want to change, but then sometimes when the time comes when we have to take that leap and make that decision to invest in ourselves, invest the time, the effort, the energy, the money, the finances into bettering ourselves. You say you want to wait until January, or you want to wait until life slows down a little bit, or you want to wait until this or wait until that. Like, why would you wait if you really feel that miserable, right? Now, it's one thing if you're just kind of like blowing smoke on my ass and you really don't feel as bad as what you say you feel. That's one thing, right? If you're, lying to me or exaggerating how bad you feel, then that's totally fine to wait. But I don't think all of you who tell me those things are lying. So if you're not lying, if you really hate the way you are right now and you hate the direction your life and your health and your body is heading, like, why delay that? Why delay that amazing feeling that you could have as far as losing the weight, doing it in a way that feels sustainable, doing it in a way that's not restrictive, doing it with support to actually get there, and then starting to love the way your body looks, starting to love the way your body feels, starting to love, how confident you're feeling in the gym or with your workouts, starting to love how confident you're feeling with your husband again. And, we're kind of reigniting that intimacy spark that might have been missing for a long period of time. Like, why delay all those good feelings or being able to take pictures, right? How many of you maybe this Thanksgiving tried to get in as little try to get in as little pictures as possible this year because you were unhappy with the way you looked. Like, don't you want next year or the next upcoming holiday for you to actually feel good and want to take pictures? That way you can save those memories. Like, why would you delay those positive feelings even longer just because of like the time of year, right? And like sometimes it's because it's inconvenient, right? Like, making this change during this time period, it is hard, right? Because it is the 3 to 4 weeks where most people gain weight. So if you want to like make a change, especially lose weight, this time of the year is most challenging. But it's either that or you run the risk of, experiencing that pain that you're in, that physical or emotional pain for another 4 to 5 weeks, or it's potentially going backwards and that pain, physical and emotional pain that you're experiencing, heightening even more. And it's one thing to like choose not to start now because of the inconvenience of the holidays, but it's also another thing too that I hear is that like, it's harder now, so I don't trust myself in order to follow through with the plan as much. But I'm going to be really motivated in January. The holidays are going to be over. It's going to be the perfect time. So I'm going to start then to make sure I get the most out of my coaching, right? If I'm going to invest in coaching, I want to get the most out of my time frame, right? That's kind of the thought process I think a lot of people have. But it's a very flawed thought process because, and I'm not saying this just because, I want you to sign up for my program now because, my roster is pretty full. I do have some open spots, but if you want to wait until January, that's fine. But I'm just doing this to help you and give you some tough love because I think a lot of people really need that push. It's flawed thinking because like going 10 steps forward and 5 steps backwards is the same amount of progress as taking 0 steps forward initially, followed by 5 steps forward without going backwards. Now, hopefully that all made sense. So 10 steps forward and then 5 steps back is the same amount of total progress as taking 0 steps forward initially, but then taking 5 steps forward later on without having to go backwards. And what I mean by that is during this time period, even if you sign up, for coaching, even if it's not even me, like some other coach, or even if you start this journey on your own, you could start now, and over these next 3 to 4 to 5 weeks, maybe you don't see any actual weight loss progress, but at least you maintain your progress, right? That's taking 0 steps forward technically, in the terms of just body weight. Obviously, like implementing different habits and things is huge and actually does count for steps forward. But let's say you're a numbers person and are literally only relying on the scale. Doing all that is taking 0 steps forward, but then come January, when the holidays are over with, when some of those temptations are gone, you're able to take 5 steps forward, But because you made this change or you started coaching now through the holidays, you've learned how to maintain your weight over the holidays. So next year over the holidays, you're not going to gain that weight backwards. You're not going to go back. You're not going to take any steps backwards. You're going to know how to maintain all of that forever, even during the most tempting times of the year. But let's say if you wait until January, you don't have that coaching, over the holidays. So while you might take 10 steps forward from starting coaching in January as far as weight loss, because you didn't have that experience working with a coach, learning how to navigate the holidays without gaining the weight back, learning how to navigate those temptations without gaining the weight back, you're going to take 5 steps backwards when the holidays roll around next year. So no matter when you start coaching, you will have to, or whenever you start this journey, you will have to at some point learn how to navigate the holidays without gaining weight back, or all of your progress will go away eventually. So why not tackle that, first step now and get it out of the way? That way you can lose the weight, start losing the weight in January, and then next time the holidays roll around, you'll already be geared up, have the knowledge, and be ready to go to tackle the holidays and not stress about weight gain, because you know how to maintain your weight over that time period from there. My most successful clients are the clients who are with me long term. And when I say long term, I don't mean 6 months, 7 months. That's not long term. I mean over a year. And the reason why they're so successful is because we've navigated every month of the year, every time period of the year from working together. We've navigated, the excitement of January 1st and not maybe overdoing the exercise and the dieting. We've navigated, the holidays, Valentine's Day, if you have a significant other. We navigate, Mother's Day, all those holidays. We navigate Memorial Day. We navigate Labor Day. We navigate the summer. We navigate the 4th of July. We navigate, back to school time. We navigate Thanksgiving. You get the gist. We navigate Christmas, New Year. We navigate all those time periods and learn how to make progress throughout the year, or at least maintain progress throughout the year, regardless of what's going on. So when a client's been with me for at least a year and we've navigated all those time periods, they're very well equipped to maintain their weight or keep seeing progress on their own after. Now, a lot of times clients actually do stay for longer. I have clients who have been with me for 2 years or more, and, we're continuing to go because we set new goals and they love the accountability. They love the support. There's always more to learn from a coach because if I know more than you now, 1 or 2 years from now, I probably will know more too, not to be egotistical by any means or anything like that, but just because this is my career, this is my job, and I continuously keep up with new research, keep up with new knowledge, keep up with new textbooks, things like that. So as the years go on, you're going to learn more, but then I'm also going to learn more too. So there will still always be more that you will be able to learn from me or any good coach that keeps up, not even just me, any good coach that does this for a living and keeps up with new research and new methodologies of doing things, new science, all that, is going to continue to learn more. So that's another big reason why, clients even continue to stay with me longer is they set new goals. So we have more things to achieve. We just keep setting the bar higher because, they just get so excited to achieve more after their initial goal. They continuously want to learn more as they go through. And then also too, making decisions of, okay, when am I going to work out? What type of workouts am I going to do? What should my nutrition look like for this or that? It's really nice to take all of that thought process and put it on someone else, put it on a coach for them to guide you through that, so you don't have to worry about it. And that's another big reason why people stay longer. But at minimum, like staying for a year is like the gold standard if you want to gain the knowledge to navigate all periods of the year. So that's kind of like my fourth, I guess, reminder or tip is to like, don't wait until January to start, because you are going to have to learn how to like navigate this time of year eventually. And why delay it? Why delay that learning process now, especially if you feel so miserable? Like I said, like how so many of you have told me that you feel. Why delay that? Like if you feel like you're burning alive right now, on fire, and you feel that bad, you know, obviously not physically in that much pain probably, but mentally in that much pain, like inside of your body and with who you are, why wait to jump in the water like 10 minutes when the water's right there? You can jump in right now and get rid of, you know, that fire on top of you. Like, why wait just because it becomes more convenient, right? Like, okay, maybe the water is going to be a better temperature for you to jump in 10 minutes. And right now it's freezing cold. But honestly, if you're really on fire and you really feel that miserable and really want to make this a lifelong change for yourself, you're going to jump in now. You're not going to wait. So that's kind of my last tip. So hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, just a reminder, I am offering the Black Friday discount until November 30th. So definitely reach out. I can send you that coaching application. Reach out if you have any questions too. And then we can talk about the details and see if it's a good fit and get you going with that. And if you do really want to wait until January to start, don't recommend it, but I am offering it as an option to where you can secure that discount and then just start in January instead. So that's another, huge benefit of this Black Friday deal that I'm doing too. So, like I said, hopefully this was helpful. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Don't wait to start. Like if this is a change that you really, really, really want to make, stop delaying, because if you keep delaying, you get into that habit of delaying, you'll keep delaying it forever and ever, and then years will go by and you'll wish that you would have started sooner. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next one.